Good afternoon. First and foremost, man, I'm blessed to be here. Jason told me most of you guys are PSL guys, and I'm from the same streets as y'all. I'm from the same grind. I'm from the same PSL struggle, trying to get recognitions from Division I colleges, Division II colleges, and I'm just, overwhelmed to be around you guys. I'm actually shaking a little bit. Quick backstory before we talk about Tom Konchalski. Every time I see Jason, man, Jason changed my life. First and foremost, I don't give anyone that kind of credit but him, because I've been searching for validation for so long just from one person to believe that I'm a player amongst my peers that can play also at the Division I level. And I didn't get that type of recognition until Jason invited Springfield Gardens, which is a very bad school at the time, wasn't known for basketball, having good basketball players. He invited us to this tournament to play against St. Raymond's, which was one of the best Catholic schools and the best school in the country at the time, to play in his classic public school versus Catholic school, where I had a chance to show my talents in front of a lot of good AAU coaches, a lot of Division II schools, Division I schools, and it led me on to get a scholarship to Hofstra. Before that, I didn't have any schools at all. I was looking at going to prep school, and one of my favorite stories is my best friend at the time was going to trade school. He was going to Lincoln Tech, and going into my senior year where we had to take our SATs, that was my option, because as much work as I put in on the basketball court, I had no schools looking at me at all. And I remember being frustrated, being sad all the time, crying even sometimes because I didn't get the recognition, and almost stopped playing basketball as a senior and going to apply to go to Lincoln Tech. So Jason's the reason for that. If I didn't play in this tournament, I honestly don't know where I would be. My dad used to always tell me, like, play your hardest because you never know who's watching. And it was a 6 o'clock game, second round of the playoffs, my junior year, and we were playing against probably the second best PSL school at the time, FDA. And we were up 4 at the half, like, thinking that we done something, and I'll never forget they scored 30 points. It was 30-4 in the third quarter. We ended up losing by like 20 something, and it was the end of my junior year. And then all of a sudden, we got a new coach, and he told us about the Big Apple Classic, and I'm like, how is? Because at the time, Springfield, we were good like in our league, but around New York, Springfield was, other than Anthony Mason, no one else got like any type of recognition. It was a long, I think 16 years that we made the playoffs, so that small run, Jason was at the game, he was able to put us in there. But he told me years later, so I remember like even more being thankful for him. And for me, I owe Jason 100 favors, a million favors, just because I really don't know where my life would be without him, honestly. That one person that saw me and thought positive. I was super, super fat, like at that time. I just could shoot, and I was stronger than everybody, and I was jumping really well at the time. That was like a red flag. In New York, all the guards were super, super little, fast. They had all of these ball handling drills. They played all these ball handling skills. I didn't have that. I just took advantage of my size, and I overpowered every person at my position, and that was always like something that they looked against. Like, I would go play for a bigger team, and I'll be playing out of position, not because I can't play at the shooting guard position or point guard position, just because of how big I was. And it took Jason to see that, like, I owe Jason forever, bro. He could have a camp every day and ask me, I'll be there. I remember the kind of pressure guys felt when Tom Konchalski walked into a gym. Now, there was like a myth about him that you wanted to be the perfect player when he saw you, because he was in charge of whether you got a Division I, Division II scholarship. His name was that powerful. I remember he was always in the gym. He was always sitting a little bit away from the crowd with a pen, writing all your mistakes down, writing the things you do well, and all of the really, really good players got handshakes from him at the end of the game. For so many years, especially when I was in high school, I never got that handshake from Tom Konchalski. I was never validated from him like other players were. I never had that good feeling when I saw him. I was always nervous if I played good enough to get his handshake, and there's been many times where I was walking and it was like that awkward moment, is he gonna speak or is he gonna not? And then when we got close to each other, he shook the guy's hand behind me. And I think that's part of my story. I mean, unfortunately, he's not here. He's a legend in New York, a great person. He opened up a lot of doors for a lot of people. But my story relate more to you guys because I'm from the PSAL. I didn't play in no big AAU teams. I didn't go to camps. I came to events like this against other PSAL players and tried to prove myself. I played in local tournaments, Ajax Park, Africa Park, ISA, things like that to try to get recognition. But if it wasn't for Jason, that one person to give me some type of validation after I got nosed, after I got cut from Lightning, I got cut from the Panthers, I got cut from the Wheelchair Classic when I was in high school. All of these chances I had to fail and fail and fail just because the big people around New York City didn't bless my name with some type of rankings or some type of aura around me where people felt that I was gonna be this big player. It all encouraged me to just work hard and wait my opportunity. And maybe some of you guys are that way. I mean, I didn't get my scholarship offer until the last window into my senior year. And going into college, I was able to just take advantage of it and remember times like this. Remember days when I walked in gyms and nobody knew who I was. Remember days where my peers got better schools than me. And I took that into consideration. Still feel bitter about it sometimes when the guys reminisce about the old days, but it made me the person that I am. So for my advice to you guys that's underdogs, I mean, I don't know many people in here, I don't know what schools y'all from, but y'all know how PSAL get overlooked. Y'all know how we don't have the sponsored jerseys. Some of us, I mean, at least I used to sell candy for my school so we could get better jerseys. We don't have the Division I schools coming to our colleges, but at the same time, you might have the opportunity to play against some of these guys. And I think half the work is done if y'all coming in here on a Saturday morning in the social media era. I think that's a stepping stone to y'all making a chance of trying to go somewhere.